Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have The Goddess of Spring. This is a 1934 animated short. It's one of the silly symphonies, and it tells the story of why we have spring and winter and summer and fall, the seasons, why the seasons exist. It's based apparently on a Greek myth, story of Persephone, and she's goddess of spring, and there's frolicking animals and greenery everywhere, and of course Hades comes by to steal her from her kingdom and takes her down to hell and kidnaps her and takes her there. And she pleads for her freedom. And in that deal, and this is a couple thousand years old, so I can pretty much tell this story without spoiling anything. He lets her come back to the surface for half a year, every year, as long as she promises to come back for the rest of the half of the year. And that's how we get the seasons. So, but yeah, for me to tell you all that is not the same as watching it yourself. This is about 10 minutes long, a little less. And yeah, 1934. This, if you look at this predates any of the Disney animated features that started with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, this technically was a test run on how to for the animators to better animate human beings. Now, we had Steamboat Willie and a bunch of others way back when. There's animating mice and cows and ducks and everything else. They animated cartoon characters, and this is kind of their first big public means of showing off a new way of animating humans. And you can see the groundwork that was laid here that would eventually translate itself into a much better practice in animating Snow White in Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. So, amongst all the other characters. But yeah, you'll see a definite change. And Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in 1937. This is 1934. So yeah, this is definitely feeds into that whole thing. So it's a unique piece of Disney history. Even though you're not going to see Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Daisy, Minnie, whatever, Pluto. Oh, Pluto. Is Pluto in this? There is a Pluto, but not the dog. By the way, I think Hades is played by Kenny Baker, and that's not R2D2. Just to be clear. And I think Jessica Dragonette that's quite a name for a singer, for an actress back in that era. Dragonette. That's kind of crazy. That's Persephone. So yeah, it's I guess I'll say whenever one of these shorts come up, one of these silly symphonies or old Mickey and Donald Goofy kind of things show up, I always urge people to go check out the classics. If they did not exist, we wouldn't be watching Disney Plus right now. We wouldn't have a Disneyland or Disney World or a Disney Shanghai, Tokyo, Disney Sea, any of that stuff. We wouldn't be holding Walt Disney in high esteem. He would have been a guy who just sat on a bench in Griffith Park and said, "Oh, that's a mouse. I should make a mouse and do stuff," and things like that. Well, that was the inspiration for Disneyland, but you get what I'm saying. It's these cartoons, it's these shorts, it's these pieces of animation that led to so many bigger things that lead us to Disney Plus. That allows us to see all of that history in whatever order we choose, randomly chosen or by choice. And there's a section where you can see all these classics, or just type in silly symphonies and you can see all the silly symphonies. And not all of them are silly. This one's definitely not silly. It's more real, I guess. It has to do with gods and goddesses and stuff. But yeah. No, but I gotta tell you, in this thing, some of the animals, the way they animate some of the animals, really sweet and cute. The crying deer, when it realizes that winter has come because Persephone's no longer in charge, it's heartbreaking. This cute little deer just tear dropping over and over. It's super heartbreaking. So yeah, they through all this they learned a lot about animating humans better, and also the backgrounds as well. And yeah, I would say watch this and then watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You can see how things evolved in just those 3 years. So yeah, that's all I can really tell you about this. If I go on for much longer, it'll be longer than the actual short. And why would you want to watch me more than the actual short itself? It doesn't make sense. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
177.
177. Back down to the 100s. 177. All right. Okay. We had music just yesterday, so we're going to get a little bit more music now. Sort of. You know what? I don't know how much music is in this. I'd imagine it would be, because it's a movie. And it's Hannah Montana. We're watching Hannah Montana the movie. We saw the series. We've even seen the concert, Best of Both Worlds. And now I think, is that, let me check real quick. That is at least anything that starts with Hannah Montana. That's the last Hannah Montana thing we have to watch, unless there's something in there that is alphabetically throws this whole thing off. And yeah, so Hannah Montana the movie is what we're watching next in the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.